Hi, I'm Michael Rutherford and welcome to this video, Go Faster and Accelerate. You know, the slow are eating, so we need to improve our speed. I'm the developer, creator, and owner of Bootcamp Fitness Training here in Kansas City, and I have over 20 years of experience working with a variety of athletes from youth, high school, collegiate, Olympic, and international competitors. And if there's one component that they're all looking to improve, it's speed. Today what we want to do is look at some of the mechanics and drills to enhance those elements necessary for improving your straight ahead linear speed. We're going to talk about drills to enhance posture, arm action, and leg actions. Now, accelerating is over 60% of the race. Athletes want to train all the components, whole and individually, to bring about the desired training effect. The first thing we want to do is talk about the legs. Two things happen to improve your speed. You either take more strides or you increase your stride length. Now, research has shown that stride length will optimize by performing the right kind of drills, strengthening the legs, and by increasing the stride frequency, we are going to improve our speed. So, I have Lee with me today. He came back even after that hard medicine ball workout to work on improving linear speed. The first thing we want to do is we want to work on the legs by warming up the muscles to awaken the nervous system. And these are also drills that will improve leg mechanics. So the first thing we're going to do is a leg extension march. So we're going to have a straightaway area here. Lee's going to take a step and extend out his leg as it reaches out as he marches forward. Now, one thing I want Lee to do as he's marching forward is to work to walk a straight line. We'll have you go back here too. And also work on his arm mechanics, which we'll touch on here in a little bit. Okay, those are leg extension marches. The next thing is we're going to have him put his hands on his head, and we're going to bring the knees to the elbow. This is going to awaken the hip areas, loosen up the hip joints, which is going to increase and optimize that stride length. Here we go. The knee coming up to the elbow, not the other way around. Great job. Fine work. All right, knee tuck will be the next movement. He can work on his balance, again stretching the hamstrings and the posterior muscle groups as he tucks his knee in and marches along, pausing for a moment at the top of each step. Here we go with the knee tuck. Bring that knee in, Lee, and go ahead and give it a hug. There you go. You can see that he's forced now to balance on one foot. Nice job, Lee. Okay, the next exercise. My younger athletes, I call this the Frankenstein walk because they think that's a fun way to look at it. This is a straight leg or a stiff leg march. He's going to march forward, kicking with a straight leg to the opposite hand. So here he goes. Straight leg march. Again, this dynamic warm-up series improves and optimizes stride length, working on leg mechanics, but it also serves to wake up the muscles and the nervous system to mentally prepare you for your workout. All right, nice job. Now we're going to take a step and reach forward. We're going to stretch out the back of the leg, the hamstring group, as he takes a step and reaches with the opposite hand. Now, as Lee gets more developed and used to this exercise, we're going to ask him to keep that trail leg straight and point the toe. If you slow down elite sprinters, you'll notice that they're balancing on one foot. And as we do these leg exercises and warm-up exercises, you'll notice that several of them, we're forcing the athlete to balance and on one foot in a single support phase. Okay, we're going to move now to the Samson lunge walk. So Lee will interlace his fingers and put his palms above his head with the straight arms. His chest is open, and he's going to take a lunge step out. Now, a key coaching point here. You want to make sure that the knee stays stacked on top of the ankle, and after he takes his step, then his hips drop down. Good. We want to encourage Lee to take a longer step. And again, make sure that the knee stays stacked on top of the ankle. That's a lot better right there. Great job. Okay, we'll move now to high knee running. High knee running. This is difficult sometimes because we need to coordinate with the arm action and the leg action. He's going to simply move slowly across the floor, swinging his hands, elbows at 90 degrees from his hip to his lip. All right, high knee running. There he goes. That's a nice job. Moving across the floor. Good. Outstanding. Okay, this is one of my favorites. If you also slow down high-speed cameras on elite sprinters, you'll notice that their heel, the lever that's created from moving so quickly and so fast, is a short lever. We want to work to be able to bring that knee, flex that knee, and to bring that heel up to the rear end. So these are our heel ups or butt kicks as he moves across the floor here. Just kicking the rear end as he moves across the floor. Watching his arm action. Always be aware of how your arms are moving in any phase of working on your speed at all times. All right, next we'll move to the low karaoke walk as he'll turn and face the screen here. He's going to get down low. He's going to work on internal and external hip rotation as he steps behind and then steps in front, moving across the floor and back. Nice work. And finally, we'll finish with rhythm skips or skipping. Now, if I line up 100 athletes that I've never seen before and ask them to skip across a field, I can tell you which athletes are the fastest in the group. Skipping is a preliminary movement to high-speed sprinting. So I like to integrate skipping in a variety of skipping drills at all times. Here we go. Want to make sure that you just skip naturally using the arms. You got better, even on the way back there. Good. Lee's not seen these exercises before today, and he's doing a great job. Okay, these are part of that warm-up. These are part of that leg extension, the leg optimizing series to increase stride length, to optimize stride length, and to improve stride frequency. Always work on these exercises. Okay, another part of enhancing stride length and stride frequency is to strengthen through a variety of leg exercises. The drive or the power that comes from triple extension, and that triple extension is the ankle, knee, and hip. Right? And there are specific strength exercises. We're going to talk a little bit about those right now. We spend more time in other videos, but we want to make sure that we address those. This resistance training should be incorporated into your program. And we're talking about squats, lunges, step-ups, single leg squats, and the hang clean movements. So let's start first with the squatting movement. Okay, now we're not going to use resistance right now today, but we're going to talk about squatting first. And I'm going to ask Lee to put his hands behind his head. He's going to get a comfortable spacing between his feet, somewhere around hip to shoulder width and slightly toed out. Okay, and now he's going to sit down in a chair, keeping his chest up sticking his rear end back with the weight in his heels. And pause at the bottom and come back up. There you go. This is a squatting exercise. This is a free or an air squat exercise. We don't have resistance that we're using today, but you can see that we're working extension of the knee and the hip, a critical part of that drive that we need to increase our speed, improve our speed. He's doing a great job. Some of you may be laughing at an air squat, but put several hundreds of repetitions together and call me in the morning. A very difficult exercise. Okay, the next thing we're going to work on here is a step up. A variation on, we'll use this step right here, Lee. A variation on that squat would be a step up exercise where we're going to step up onto an elevated surface, a bench. And he's going to step back down. Again, notice the extension of the hip, notice the extension of the knee, and we're also getting some drive and extension in the ankle. Now, we don't have a load on Lee's shoulders right now, but you can certainly place a load on the shoulders. Great job. Okay, we looked at lunging in the warm-up series, but lunges can also be part of your strengthening activities by taking a lunge step out and then returning, or a lunge step forward. So we'll have Lee right there. Let me slide the box out of the way just a little bit. Lee, go ahead and take a step out and take a lunge and then just return to that standing position. His chest stays up as he lunges forward and returns. Alternating legs. Look at the great job he's doing of keeping the knee stacked on top of the ankle, the thighs parallel to the floor. We're also going to work the hip extensors. Again. And in the front of the leg, the hip flexor group, the trail leg right now, I'll have him freeze down here at the bottom, is getting a tremendous stretch, which is going to strengthen that. It's going to enhance your ability to raise your knee. Again, optimizing stride length. Great job. Great job, Lee. And finally, the old coach is going to demonstrate the next exercise as I roll in this barbell. This is a very powerful exercise. It's an Olympic lifting variation. It's called the hang clean. I would encourage you to look to other sources to get the entire coaching and training concept down. But this hang clean exercise is done with a barbell, with weight, and it begins by getting your feet close to the bar. You want to reach down outside of your legs and grab the barbell evenly on both sides. All right, I'm using a hook grip to grab onto the bar, and I'm going to stand up with the bar, and you'll notice that as I stand up, my back stays flat and the bar travels close to the body. Okay, I'm right here in a comfortable jump stance, and in a very powerful triple extension of that ankle, a critical ankle, knee, and hip, I'm going to lower the bar down now, and then I'm going to explode up and catch the bar. I'm racking the bar. I'm getting an explosive extension of the ankle, knee, and the hip. And that's the hang clean exercise. No great sprinter is able to perform at his optimal level without strength. International sprinters are capable of easily squatting over 500 pounds for a single repetition. Don't make a mistake. You need to include strength training in your program. Okay, we went through some drills to optimize that stride length and stride frequency, very critical. But now we want to move into some posture drills. Now, posture describes the alignment of the body, especially the head and the trunk, And the tricky thing about posture is it's very dynamic. It changes with each step from the starting position through the top speed. It's important that this lean come from the ankle and not from your waist. It's a tricky part of sprint dynamics, but if you look at the start, obviously you can see that the posture is very extreme, almost flat, and through into the acceleration phase, the posture becomes more erect, and the goal then is to minimize deceleration or slowing down and to get that finish through the final phase. So let's look here at Lee, and we'll talk a little bit about posture. As he leans into me here, I want to square him up some. He's going to lean into me right now, and we're going to look a little bit, keeping his heels on the ground. This is that ankle change. He's a big guy. This is that ankle change that I referred to as part of posture. Very extreme here early in the sprint and more erect as he moves into it. One of the first things I like to do to have athletes understand that is just a lean and go, where he's going to lean into me here, and I have his weight. He's totally relying upon me right now, and I'm going to let him go. He's going to have to catch and gather as he feels this forward lean to sprint. And you saw I did a great job there. I want to move my box. Again, let's look at that. He's just going to lean and go here. I like to do this early in teaching posture. Go. And he did a great job getting out. Another drill I like to do, which also works into the arm mechanics, is to run with no arms to feel the lean forward here. So he's just going to have his arms out in front and run leaning forward. Go. You can teach several things by using that no arm running technique. The first is the posture. Go. The first is the posture lean, and the second is to show the importance of arm drive. Okay, now we're going to have him face down on the mat. This is a scramble up. And part of quickness is to listen to sensory sounds or visuals. And on a clap, on a command, he's going to scramble up and move quickly forward. You'll notice here initially, he's in an extreme posture position, and he's going to then progress to a more erect position. There's his scramble up, and you can see how he changed his posture there. That was great. We'll do that one more time. And you can see working that scramble up works on the quickness, explosion, and it changes that he has to cope with posture sprinting. Okay, the next one is a drop and go, where from an erect position here, he'll go down to the ground and then scramble up. A little bit more of an advanced run. Ready? Scramble up and go. Good job. We're really giving Lee a workout today. All right, we don't have a real stable wall in here, but one I like to do is a wall run, and I'm going to have Lee use my back to lean into, and he's going to then work on his leg mechanics by just running and leaning into me, picking those knees up. This works better on a wall, and you can see the knee action and the drive. Look at that triple extension in the ankle and the knee and the hip, and the change in the posture as he moves forward. Now, we talked early about the start and how important that was, and how the posture changes. And then the next phase is the acceleration phase. And we want to maximize acceleration, since that's 60% of the race. And we can do that through several training aids. The first one is a sled drill. And I have a very inexpensive way that everybody can use a sled. And that is to go to a tire store and ask for their junk and their garbage. First, they'll laugh at you. and then they'll say, sure, you can have as much as you want, just take it. But this is a real simple tire. I've used some hardware accessories and a couple of straps and a harness to put this together. Now the trick to using any resistance here, and I'm going to strap Lee in, the trick to using any resistance is that you do not want to slow down the athlete by more than 10%. Again, we're Americans. We think more is better, so we're going to really load down the sled. But this sled is really not going to slow Lee down more than 10%. And it's going to be difficult for you to get the full view, but you can see now that we have the harness, the attached strap, and our tire, which is going to create some drag for Lee as he runs forward. It'll be working on that posture and his acceleration at the same time. Go. And you can see that he's dragging the tire, and we can't really get him up to speed in the studio here. He's strong enough to go through that wall, but we've been advised not to let him do that. Go. Now, like I said, there's several fancy pieces of equipment out there, and I'm going to detach you here. You can get some fancy sleds that you load up with weights, but it's not really necessary if you do use a little weekend morning activity to put a nice little sled together. You can also create resistance with a partner, and here I'm going to create some resistance for Lee as he goes along, and I'm allowing him to work on that posture as we run forward. I can also give him contrast work. Go. And I won't do it, but this time I will because I didn't want to see you go flying. I can let him go and give him a contrast. Go. Hold on. And I let him go right there so he can feel that resistance and then feel that burst of speed as I let him go. You can also work on posture by using an incline, a slight incline on a treadmill, on a street. It's just perfect. Another thing that I like to use, and I've recently been incorporating it in a lot of training sessions, is to use a weight vest to increase the resistance that works on the gravitational pull, but also in forcing the body to work against that change in center of gravity, the dynamics that occur there, so it adds a new training stimulus. Another thing that we like to do is to incorporate some assisted type of running. You can do that by running downhill and also by using stretch cords to assist the athlete to overspeed, to run with additional speed. I'm using a simple stretch cord here that's attached to the same harness that we were using earlier. And if I can get Lee to take a 1/2 step back here, just step back so we can see that we've put a little tension on this. This is going to slightly increase his speed, which is going to force his legs to turn over faster. So it's an overspeed type training, and go. And you can see that he'll get a slight burst of speed. You can get a little bit of an idea here in the studio that we're able to create some additional overspeed for him. Now it's important that when you finish with that overspeed, that you then immediately follow it with some normal running, again, so he can feel that difference, that he can burn a new neural pathway and train his muscles to move faster. The best way to increase acceleration and work on posture is to use some sprint circuits or sprint play, set up some cones at various distances, watching your mechanics, being aware of how you're moving and how you're accelerating and de-accelerating as we go along. So speed circuits are the best way. Final component here, we want to work on our arm action mechanics. And I'll again have Lee over here close as we talk a little bit about arm action. We talked earlier during the posture phase about running with no arms. If you ask any athlete, it's really important, if he leans into me here and gets those arms out straight, okay, go. To run with no arms, we'll just start that one again. That was my bad. That was bad coaching. Get those arms out straight and I'll stay away. to run with no arms, go. They'll immediately be able to tell you the difference. The arms are a very important part of running. If you want to run faster, your arms have to move faster. The mechanics involved here is the elbow fixed at 90 degrees. Hands are relaxed. You'll see a lot of athletes run with tight fists. The fist or a closed hand is okay. We don't want to have a tight white knuckle death grip on the hands. The hands are loose. I sometimes have athletes put the thumb on top of the index finger, and nice cupping and slow action with the hands moving from the hip to the lip. Okay, so let's just get a little arm action going as you stand in one place. Just in one place, Lee. Let's work on that arm action there. That's good. Okay? If he has his arm swing side to side, we're killing any of that linear speed that we're trying to enhance. So tension irradiates to other parts of the body and makes him a tight athlete, and you've seen it before, and you may be battling it right now too. So relax those hands. Think of light hands. Think of relaxing the hands. Fingers relax. You can cup your hands here as you move forward. One of the easiest drills to work on are just sprint and jog commands by using the arm actions. Okay, I say jog, or you have somebody say jog, and then sprint. Jog and sprint. Okay, good. The other thing I like to do then, so that they understand, is to stand behind him. Can tilt this way just a little bit. Get that arm action going. And one of the things that we always want to do is get his elbows involved backwards. So I want to have him swing those elbows back and strike my palms each time to make sure that we're getting the arm action. For every action, there is an opposite and equal reaction. Okay, so he's jogging, now sprint. So you can hear him striking my palms and jog. Look what that fast arm action does to the rest of his body, even though he's standing still. Now sprint, really get it going. You can see how it's changing his body. Okay, good, good. We're into the arm action drill list now. We talked about those standing arm runs. We can also do a seated version of that on the sit run. Lee, go have a seat real quick. Elbows bent at 90. We're gonna jog first. Get those legs straight. Good job, camper. Now sprint. Look what that arm action does to the rest of his body. And jog and sprint. You can see what the upper body does, and a strong guy like Lee, it really has an impact on his running. And relax. We can also work on hand mechanics with some hand weights. These are simple ankle weights from Tidal, and you start out in the contrast action by running with the hand weights in your hands and then dropping the weights after you get up to acceleration. Okay? And go. Drop. And you can see he's turning the hand weights loose as he goes forward here. So get him up to speed, and again, we don't have a long enough runway right now, but you'll get the idea. Drop. And he gets up to speed, and he'll feel the lightness in his hands as he releases the weights moving forward. Coaching point, you always want to be aware and constantly monitoring and evaluating those hand mechanics. Okay, training guidelines. We talked about posture. We talked about arm action and legs. Always begin with that general warm-up that we started this series with. That makes for a great warm-up. It lets your body and your mind know what you're getting ready to attack the sprint. Train twice a week. That will provide the appropriate stimulus, and it'll also allow for you to practice your sport that you need to practice and get adequate recovery. Very important. You want to work at a variety of distances. Don't just work 10-yard sprints. Work 10 yards up to 800 yards. consider your target goal. That'll determine the regular training range that you should work within. And work on all those elements. Always try to integrate work for improving your posture. Always work to improve your arm action. Always look to enhance your leg action. Get stronger. You also want to incorporate some flexibility work at the conclusion of each session. And conclude your training session with some strength training activities. Using strength training before you're working on these sprint mechanics will fatigue your nervous system, and it will limit and retard your development. Speed is also best addressed by utilizing a work to rest ratio of 1:3. What am I talking about? I'm talking about if you sprint for 10 seconds, you want to rest at least 30 seconds. Okay, that's very important. If you're working off of a clock on your speed and you're being timed for distance, if your speed starts to slow, even though you're following that 1:3 work ratio, you're going to want to stop that training session and rest. You do not benefit by continuing to pound your body into the ground on sprint training. Okay, here's an idea to improve that 40-yard dash. You want to start out with that dynamic warm-up that we talked about. Work on some scramble-up runs. Do 5 of those for 20 yards of distance. Work on your start. Do 5 starts but with your right hand forward, and do 5 starts with your left hand forward. Mix it up. That bilateral training is very important. And then work with your strongest side and do 5 more of those for 10 yards. Do some assisted sprints with a partner or a downhill, and then follow that up with 4 sets of 40-yard dashes. Hit the weight room, work on some squats, 5 sets of 5, and finish with some core strengthening. I'm going to show you one of my favorite core strengthening exercises right now. This is just a stability hold where I'm going to have Lee down on his stomach. He'll have his toes together. He'll be on his toes. We're going to have his elbows underneath. I'm sorry there, coach. Bring those elbows underneath you and you're going to stabilize on your forearms. You're going to stabilize on your forearms. Out here in front, pick up right here in a push-up type position. Okay? Now pick the hips up, and he's going to hold this position right here, keeping a straight line from his shoulder to his ankle. Now he's a strong guy, so he has his arms flared out, but I'm going to have most humans pull their elbows in close underneath. Pull your elbows in closer underneath you. There you go, and that'll be a little bit easier for starting. I want to coach him now and have him pick his hips up just a little bit. Again, you can see that straight line. We're working the entire core. If you don't work your core, if you don't work to strengthen your core, you're going to limit your speed development and time. Hold that for about 60 seconds. That'll do the trick. I hope you've enjoyed some of the drills we've talked about today to improve your speed. Remember, the slow are eaten. Good job. Thanks, Lee.
Thank you.
Title Boxing's got you covered with 16 action-packed videos to get you in the best condition of your life. Boxing and conditioning experts Danny Campbell, Michael Rutherford, Jeff Finnick, and Russ Anber put you through the paces to show you everything you need to know to improve your speed, strength, agility, and stamina. How to wrap hand, hitting a heavy bat, medicine ball, obtaining the edge of speed, interval training, punching at angles, advanced techniques, explosive speed and power, mastering the basics, punch-knit secrets, getting bigger and stronger, dynamic speed and thrust, counter punching, working the corner, defensive skills and drills, body punching, and more. Get only the ones you want, or get maximum impact with the entire series. Get the secrets of over 80 years of combined boxing and physical training experience in one action-packed video series. Where do you get it? Exclusively at TitleBoxing.com. TitleBoxing.com. If we don't have it, you don't need it.